Yes, we can hear
Okay.
you.
Yeah. Thank you. I hope if anyone cannot, they can see the message and then drop a message. Otherwise, all right. Okay. So before we start, I see the people are there like few members are there, Anand, Rahul, Harish, and Ram. So, hi Ananda, are we waiting for anyone else? Shall we start now? All right.
Start the session, sir.
All right. Thank you. Okay, guys. So as you are here to know about the Appian, so before we start an Appian, so anyone can answer me what an Appian is? Anyone has any idea what is an Appian? Anything? As you hear, you are here for the Appian training, so you must have heard about the Appian. How do you know about the Appian?
Yeah, Appian is a BI tool, as far as I know.
It's not BA, it's a
Similar.
BPM.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. BPM.
Okay, yeah, BPM tool. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Actually, my friend referred me. There are much opportunities in the
Mhm.
Appian. Currently, I'm
Yes.
working with automation anyway, so I am looking to change to Appian.
Okay. Uh, okay. All right. Thanks, Alice. Anyone else? Anand, Rahul, Ram, what Appian
It's a
is?
low code. Appian is a low code tool.
Appian is a low code tool. Yes. Yeah. What else? And what's your background? I mean, what you're working on currently?
Actually, I'm a retail store manager.
Okay.
Now I would like to enter into the IT industry. Actually, my friend who is running a company, the DevOps team, he
Mhm.
suggested initially this is the best tool to enter into the IT sector.
Okay. All right. Anyone else? Rahul, how what you know about the Appian? See, why it is very important for me to understand, like, if I know the audience well, I can explain in that way, right? So if you can tell me what's your background and how do you know about the Appian, why you want to learn the Appian, it will help me to, you know, uh, do a training in a way that you guys can achieve more, right? So yeah. Anyone else want to add what the Appian is?
Appian is low-code tool, and it is very easy to develop the application.
Yes, it's a low code tool. All right. Yes, whatever you guys have mentioned, let me share my screen back. As someone has says that it's a BPM tool, and someone saying that it's a low code tool. Both are the correct, but basically, what is an Appian is, right? Appian is also it's a BPM tool, as you said that, and it is used to create an web applications, right? Just like the way we create the web applications by using the Java, C Sharp, .NET, right? So we create some web-based applications in on those languages. Appian is also used to create an applications for by using its own language. It has, as I said, it has its own language. Which is called as a sail. Okay, sail. We will also talk about the sail, what the sail is, all right, and then basically we are trying to understand what Appian is. So it is a tool which is used to create web-based application. Okay, all right. So if we already have in the market like Java is there, .NET is there, then why Appian, right? So someone has mentioned that it's a low code tool, right? It's a low code tool. When we hear the term the low code, it means that we have to do the less coding as compared to the Java and all, right? As compared to Java and .NET, we have a lot of coding, isn't it? We have to know all the syntax. Uh, we have to know all the functions that is there, and then you will the only place you will get the help. Right now they are providing some tools where you can know about the functions, but a detailed description about the function, you have to remember everything, and you have to write a code from top to bottom for each and everything, right? To create any function, isn't it? So if I want to develop any requirement, right, we have to write single, every single line of code we have to write it for ourselves. By ourselves, we have to know everything. But in Appian, as we said that this is a low code tool, right? As I say, we are saying, right, Appian is a low code tool. It means that low code tool allow you to write minimum code, right? It allows you to write minimum code. How it is allow you to write a minimum code? For an example, let's say if I want to if we want to create let's say text field, when I say, like, if you're designing a form, right, when you're designing a form, you want to have a text field where you want to insert your name, or where you want to insert your email address, right? If you want to create a text field in your form, you have to write all the code for your text field, from how you design a text field, what are the functions you will use. But in Appian, right, in Appian you just have to call a function which is called abank text field, right? So if you say abank text field like this, and it will draw a text box for you. You do not have to write a code to design a text field, right? So that's how it is a low code. Okay, got it? So what's a low code? So you do not have to write a code for everything. If you write a function, it will give you everything for you. Like if I want to design a paragraph field, if I want to design a drop down, you just call the name, and the names are very easy to understand. Like if I say bank drop down field, what it will do, it will give you a drop down structure. You just have to configure the values. Now when we say the configure the values, Appian is basically designed to create a web application mostly based on the web application, based on the configuration. All right, now there's something is called no code. Okay, feel free to stop me in between, guys, wherever you want, right? So there is something called no code. What do you think about the no code? Anyone, any idea? While by seeing the name, what do you guys think? What could be a no code?
No code in the sense, and little amount of code is also not involved. Low code is a
Yeah,
minimum amount of code
exactly.
is
So
involved.
it's no code. No code is 100% configuration. User will not able to write a single line of code. Okay, got it? So is the Appian is a no code or low code? Appian is not a no code, because you will have to write some coding here, right? So what could be the code? What's the code example in Appian? You guys might have heard, learned in the school or colleges, um, like if condition, right? How if condition works? It says if, right? And then here we put some condition. Let's say I'll say is 4 equal to 5, right? Then here it's a true part. In true part we can say display yes, otherwise display no, right? And then if you at the end we close the if condition. So this is how we work right in the no code, right? So if we say that if some condition we are going to match, so this is called nothing but a condition. So it is nothing but a condition. And then here I will say it's a true part. What needs to be done? So it's a true part. And then here we can have false part. Okay, so that's how the coding you will see in the Appian. It's very simple. When you are habituate, once you start doing that, you will be able to understand how it works. Now, as Appian is also giving you the 100% configuration, it's not like you cannot see the code whatever I have designed. Now, for example, if we say I want to design a text field, what we need to do? Either you can go with the expression mode or the design mode. In the design mode, you simply have to do the drag and drop. Okay, design mode of Appian. What we need to do? We need to drag and drop the fields, whatever we need to design. I will try to show you something on the UI that how do we create and how do we, it's actually shows the fields created on the UI. Okay, just give me a second. Let me try to show you something. I mean, it will be very soon enough, but I just wanted to show you that how actually Appian works and how you want to create a code in Appian and how you want to design anything, how quickly you can create it. Okay, like for in example, if you go with the Java and then a .NET, you have to write every line of code for uh, creating a text field or for creating a drop-down field. But in Appian, it's very easy. And how you can do that, let me show you. You guys can see my screen. Wait. Yeah, you guys can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, now let's say I have this interface. I want to drag and drop a text field here. I want to design an entire interface. You don't have to write a single line of code for that one. Let's say I want a text field. So I drag and drop it here. So one text field is created for me, right? Now, if I want to have, let's say one a drop down field, I just search it here. I search a drop down field and drag and drop it here. So I will have the drop down field is ready for me. And you see that I do not have written a single line of code for that. Now, if you go to the design to the expression mode, you will be able to see that the code is created for you. Now, if you talk about the Java or .NET, you have to actually write every line of code. You don't have a drag and drop feature there. You have to write all this 20 line of code in your web-based application, other tool that you are using like Java or .NET. The programming basic code programming languages, you have to write all these codes. But in Appian, it's very simple. Okay, so you can also design your code in such a way. I hope you can now relate it. What's a drag and drop, right? Any question? Any question, guys? Is that clear?
Yes, clear, please.
Okay. Okay. So let me share my screen back. All right. So now that's what the about the Appian, how this Appian creates an application. It's a web-based application, right? And then it also like how it's a low code. We talk about the low code, and we also see the what's a no code, what's a low code. In no code, again, like it's 100% configuration. So why don't we use a no code platform tool? Why should we go for the low code or the other? Why there is a no code? If that's very easy, right, to develop. Now the demerit of the no code is that if you want to change something, like suppose they are displaying a text field, uh, like in a way that, let's say, and any other thing in color of blue, and if you want to change in the red color, you can't do that because it's a no code. You can't do any configuration. Whatever has been developed already, you just have to reuse that. That's what the demerit of the no code. Okay, all right. So now we also talk about the BPM. What's the BPM? Anyone? What is the BPM?
It's a business process management.
Mm-hmm. Business process management. So what do you think about the business? What's the business? What's the process? And what is management? What do you think? What's the business? Let's go on. It's a full form, the BPM. So what's the business?
Business we can consider any kind of business, right? We can just have any.
If you talk about in the IT term, so what's the business is called requirement,
Okay.
right? Whatever the requirement is given by the clients, it's your business, right? It means that, for example, we talk about the example. Let's say, uh, business says that I want tea. Huh? I want tea. So the requirement is that they want tea, right? Tea should be there with them. In some point of time, they want to have a tea. Huh? Now that's a requirement. That's what we call the business, right? Business of all
Yep.
sizes. Money, business of all sizes. I mean, no, it's not kind of that business. Here, the business we are talking about is a kind of requirement that we will develop, we will design, right, for our client. Like for any bank employee, for any bank client, want you to design a form where they can ask for you that I want a form where we can, do the customer onboarding. So we have to design an interface where we can put the name, first name, last name, to receive the customer details. All right. So that's why I'm giving you a real-time example that if say business wants some requirement, business, when I say, you can, in IT we also call them client as a business. Okay, what's the business requirement? What's the client requirement? Right. So let's say they want some tea to have it. So that's how the business is. That whatever the requirement we need to fulfill is a business. Now second thing is called a process. What do you think? What is a process?
Process of making a tea. How?
Exactly.
What?
How you do your job, how you create
Yeah.
your requirement. Here in the example we can say process of making tea, right? Means how we are going to create the tea for the business. There will be some process, right? We have to take some vessels from somewhere. We have to switch on the stoves. We have to put the vessels on there, and we have to pour the milk. We have to add sugar. We have to add liquor. Right? There are some process to achieve the task. Definitely, there could be different processes, right? Exactly. So when you talk about the inputs, money, when you talk about the inputs, I'll come to that point. So it says that how do you want to create your tea? Some people prefer to make the tea by first pouring the milk in the vessel, right? Some prefer first pouring the water. Now, what do you understand by these things? So there could be a different way of creating an application, right? It's not like in one way you can only do the things. There could be a multiple ways of creating these things. Some could be more optimized, some could be more, less coding. So that's what the process is. Now the third term is called management. So what do you think about the management here? Come on, guys, you guys are doing good. I mean, yeah. So what do you think about the management? Management is refers to the, you can say, a database, right? Where the data is residing, how you manage your data, how you, not exactly that money, but you know how you manage your data, right? Like for in our real-time example, a sugar may be in some other box, right? Uh, and then milk in some other place, right? Right. So how you bring all those information together to prepare the tea, right? And then once you have the information, we also need to put the box at the same, exact place. We should be maintaining the data in a proper area, right? It's not like we bring the data and then we use it and then we throw it, right? We have to also secure it. We have to close the box and then keep it somewhere else, right? So nobody else, no other one can should be using that one, right? How you manage the data. Right, so that's what the BPM tool is. I hope you guys now understand what's the BPM tool. Any question? Am I audible, guys?
No questions.
Okay. Now we also in our discussion we talk about the sale. What the sale is, as I said, like Java has its Java or object-oriented language. C is also it's a programming language. Is those are the programming languages directly that we are using to create an application. But in Appian we are using a sale. It's called self-assemble interface language. So that's what we use in Appian to design an interface or to provide some logic to the other object that we create in Appian. All right. Okay. Any question till here, guys? I mean, about the Appian, what Appian is, what's the BPM process is. No? All right. So what kind of application we create in Appian? Anyone can have any idea about this one? What kind of application we create in Appian as whatever we have discussed? And for whom? And who will be the user? Anyone can guess anything? Any idea, guys? Come on, speak up. So what kind of application we create in Appian, and then who will be the end users? Like who will be using our application? End users, yes, Mani, yes, we are creating the application for the end users, but who are those person? Anyone can be the end users? Is it like that? Let's say I'm creating an application. So no, it's not like that. The other applications that we create in other languages like .NET and Java, yes, it is for the everyone, because you do not require any login credentials to use those applications, right? But in Appian, we need, if you want to use the application, you need a login credentials. Okay, so you cannot say that the end users can be anyone, right? So the answer is that what kind of application we create an application. So it starts from like point one. So to use Appian, this Appian can use one to many, right? No, I'll just give you an example. To use Appian, we need credentials, right? We cannot simply go and use Appian. We need a credentials. If you want to use any application, it's need an application credentials, right? Okay, it's not. It is not. Appian is not. Let's say if not, it is. I'll just say Appian is not uh, a free tool. It's costly, right? So for every users you create in Appian, you need to pay for the amount to them. So who is the users finally then? So Appian creates application for in-house users. So what is in-house users? Do anyone know what is the in-house users? Any idea? Not the admins. Now, for example, let's say I'm giving an example. If we have a bank, let's say ABC Bank, okay? We have a bank, ABC Bank, and then this ABC Bank uses Appian, okay? So the bank employees are the in-house users. Customers are not. All right. So if you think about a bank, right? In bank, how many, what kind of employees we have? First, we have the employees who actually works for the bank, right? And then we have a customers like the users who visit the bank and open their account and all, right? So the Appian will be for the in-house users. It means for the employee, not for the customers. So customer cannot use the Appian application. They can, it can be used by the employee who is working on the application. Now, for example, if I say, if you go to the bank, if you visit the bank, and then you say that, I want to complete my KYC. So what the bank employee do? They open an application. They take your inputs like what's your name, what's your Aadhaar card number, or what's your PAN card number, and all those details, right? And they proceed something in their application, in their window, right? So what they are using, what the application that they are using inside there, those kind of application we can create in Appian, right? It cannot be used by the customers directly, right? Like for the HDFC Bank, net banking service, it can be used for the customers directly also, right? So those kind of applications it's not possible to create in Appian. I mean, it's possible, but it will be very costly. Now imagine a bank has let's say 10,000 of customers, so they have to create 10,000 of credentials, and for 10,000 of credentials it will require a lot of money, right? So what kind of application Appian creates? It's an in-house application. Got it? Any confusion here? Okay. So Appian applications are for employees of the organization. Got it, guys? Okay. Is that any question, guys? Is that clear to you? What kind of application we create in Appian, and then who will be the user of the application? Any question? All right. Okay. Now, as you know about the Appian, yeah. Go ahead, Namdev.
Hello, sorry. Actually, what kind of application? That means, can you just specify any of the category of the application? So, suppose if we can just say like standalone, but standalone is not possibly here, but MQ based or any that kind of. Can you just enlist what kind of application
I'll
we
give
can
you an
develop?
example. Yeah, sure. So I'll give you an example. Let's say, if as I said, right, if you want to update your KYC, right, you visit the bank as a customer. You
Mm,
visit the bank. The bank employees need some platform where they can take your inputs, they can upload your documents, whatever documents you are providing to them, and then they profile the KYC details, right? So those kind of applications you can create in Appian. The other example you talk about, like if you want to have customer onboarding, where you want to onboard a customer and you want to create an account for them, right?
Okay.
So those applications we can create in Appian. Let's say now it's about the finance for banking. Now, if you talk about the healthcare domain, right? There are certain pharma company who is creating the medicines or who are creating some medical equipments, right? Now, if they want to launch their equipments, if they want to launch their products to the market, right? So there should be some, country restrictions. Like for the country wise, there could be some different criteria. So to launch any products, right? It's not an easy task. There's a complete process behind it. It has to go with all the processes, right? So those kind of applications we create in Appian, right? Why
Okay.
don't we can create an applications like for everyone? Because Appian is a license-based tool. It's not freely available. So the license, increases based on the number of users. If a bank employee has 20,000 employees, it has to create 20,000 of credentials. Then it will be very costly for the bank. They cannot earn profit out of it. So that's the reason they want to go for the freely tool.
Any rough idea on license cost for per one user? Uh, just
Yes.
for understanding.
Yeah. So license goes for the user specific. Like, if you want to have a bundle, if you have taken a bundle license, they will allow you to 10,000. I mean, say 1,000 of logins. If you create more credentials, you have to pay more amount to them. That's how the
Okay.
Appian cost is.
Okay. It is subscription based, right? For per year we need to pay somewhat similar,
Yes, you have to
like that.
renewal. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Okay. So I hope now you guys understand what the Appian is, what kind of application it creates, what's a BPM tool, right? Let me walk you through quickly for the presentation. I hope you can see my screen. All right. So we talk about the BPM, right? And we talk about the low code in Appian and data and processes. Let's have some visualization how it works actually. So you can see it here, right? The processing, as you say that Appian is a BPM tool and it contains a process. It means that how a process can be designed. In Appian, we say it's a process modeling. So in the process modeling, it could be like, when a order has been placed in any one of the online marketing, and then order goes to the management, and then they see that what kind of order it is. Do we need to provide any offer to them? If we accept the offer, then what kind of payment link we can provide them, so they can provide a payment link, so they can pay the payment, and then once the payment is done, we can send an invoice to the customers and also put the products into the dispatch. So, and then dispatch also can have a different workflow. So it's like, you guys cannot see my screen. Guys, you can see my screen or not? Someone has dropped a
No,
message that they can't. Is it visible now?
no, not for me.
Anyone else can see my screen?
Yeah, it's visible for me.
Okay. I'll try to do something. I mean, it is visible for others.
Okay.
All right. So that's how the process, we can define into the Appian. We can define a set of activity, how and when it can be done, right? We cannot send a payment link before the order has been placed. I mean, the item has been selected. So that there should be some steps to be followed. First, user has to select some items and then place to the cart, and then based on the cart item, we need to prepare the payment link, and then once the payment is submitted, it's done, then we can send that all those information, invoice and everything, right? So that's how the process works into the Appian. We can see the decline of what accept offer. These all, what are all these are? These are the smart services that we can use in Appian, where we need to show that, okay, this is the particular task we have to perform by using this set of activities. We talk about the Appian already. We know that what Appian can do and how it creates. So these are the some Appian UIs, that is you can see on the screen. You can actually create a nice UI which will give you a look and feel wise that you are using a web-based application. Right? It's not limited to the laptop. You can also use in the desktop, the mobile phones, and then the iPads. It can be used there, and it's you do not have to write much coding actually to adjust the screen. Appian auto adjust the screen to display the different UI size. As we said, right, this is a low code automation. So there are some companies, Equivia, Pairs, and okay, these are some companies who are actually using this Appian, and they say that there are some services that some 12 months of clinical trial startup time reduced to 1.5 months. So initially it was taking 12 months, a year to complete a clinical trial startup, which has been now reduced to the 1.5 months, 1.5, like less than 2 months, right? And just like a Bear as a company saying that they were reporting that they were taking hours to them to create. Now in Appian they can create in 3 minutes. So that's how the Appian is very faster. Appian development is very faster. The retrieval is very faster. You can also create a reporting by using charts, some graphs, and all that. It's very easy to do that in Appian. So Appian is like you can also have like Appian is not only for the base applications right now. One more thing I want to like highlight that in our training we will be learning about the base application development, like basic application development, where we will be using all those Appian components to design an application as a full-fledged application. But Appian also supports let's say automation. It also supports the RPA, robotic process automations, right? So those kind of things we will be not looking into our training session. Why? Because that's a separate area of learning. But Appian supports that the RPA as well into the Appian development, right? And why Appian people? Someone has mentioned that their friends have referred like go with the Appian training because it's a highly demanded in the market. Yes, it is, because right now in the Appian market is not that much up for the jobs because it's a last quarter of the year, but still there are some more requirements for the Appian use. So that's how the Appian requirement. And during the COVID, many companies was not hiring, but still the opening was there was a lot of opening for the Appian. That's how the Appian demand is in the market right now, and it will be there for like more 5 to 10 years, because whatever the other tools are available in the market, they are not up to the mark as Appian is. As you can see, it was a survey that was done, and it says that Appian was leading the market and overall rating was 4.7, and it was actually having a lot of demand to design the application. Now, where Appian fits, this is a more important thing. Why? Because Appian is not only is required only for the as you can say that you can develop within the Appian. You can also use other application with Appian. You can also use Appian in some other application. The extending the application is very easy in Appian. You can also connect with some different application. You can also connect the SAP to combine the application and bring the data from third party, because many companies, for the security reasons, they put their data in some different locations. So you can connect different applications, and you can still use the Appian to create one application for you, right? So that connection is very easy in Appian also, right? Now, if you talk about the database, as I said, right, it's artificial intelligence is also there, and unified data and process. So you can combine the data from 3 different places, and still you can manage to create your application, right? That's how the Appian works for you. And then, and again, if you want to segregate the data, and like if I'm bringing some data from point 1, and some data from point B. And then once done, our job is done, we can also segregate and then update the data to the respective locations. Yeah, this is I would like from where we can bring the data in and then work on it. So this is one of the UI. You can see it has every information of the users, the products, and then the some charts are also there. So this is how you can also create your customer process. I mean the UIs of your in-app end basically. These are the some charts examples. Real-time data, based on the real-time data, it can quickly create a chart for you, and it's not take that much of coding to design a chart. It's very easy. You just have to do some configuration and select which chart you want to use, and that could be done. So that's how the Appian also design the charts. As I said, Appian uses the bots, the robotic process automations. You can combine a process where you are interacting with the people, you are interacting with the bots, and artificial intelligence also. All three can be combined together to create one application. So that's also possible in Appian. You do not have to go for the other licensing tools for AI or RPA. In image, you can see this one, right? This is nothing but a process model. So these are the smart services that we have used. There are some smart services is they like to call another process. Some are for the like calling a interface objects, how to display an interface objects. You can see the gateways. Gateways is basically to define which path it has to take based on your inputs. Like suppose if user has clicked on submit, then take the particular path. If user click on the cancel, do not do anything and take some other path and complete the workflow. So that's how we can also decision making workflow we can design on the process modeling thing. Okay. Yes, according to the companies, the Forrester, they say that the coding is faster at 20 times as compared to the other programming languages. Right. So that's how the Appian designing is easy and faster. These are the objects. We create a process model, we create the interfaces, we create the rules, integrations, all those things we create in Appian to complete one application development. So we will be learning all those things in our team. Here you can see this one, right? These are the list of companies which are currently using this Appian, and this is like I have shown you like 5% or 10% of this. There are a lot of companies which are using the Appian nowadays for their from small to high level of company. You can mention the name, and they are still. I mean, they will be using some Appian for their application tools. So it's not only the pharma; it's also in the healthcare. It's also into the finance, area. During the COVID, the pharma company has tweaked the application a lot to to design their applications. Okay, I'll just quickly give you one UI for your Appian. Just give me a second. The one of the example that we have created recently. So this is the application that we have designed recently. You can see my screen. So we have created a home page where we are displaying, a banking site, online banking site. We see that IFGC net banking, and then we are also displaying the transactions, like what is the transaction has been done. This was application was related to transfer the amount from one account to another account. So we can initiate a transaction from here. We can see search for a customer, and then we can, once a customer is located, we can select a customer, and then we can proceed for the like I want to transfer to my own account, or if you want to transfer to the some other accounts. So I can select some accounts of someone others. It will then we have to select the people whom we want to transfer the amount. Let's say I want to transfer to Shifa, and then we hit next, and then we say that transfer to this particular account. Then it says that what's the amount. Let's say I want to transfer the amount 10,000 rupees. Put some notes here and then click on next. So we can get a final screen where we can see these are the details that user has selected, and click on submit. Once we click on submit, there could be another process, another task could be generated for the managers, where they can go and they can see this particular request has been created for the transferring the amount, do you want to approve or do you want to reject it? Let's say I want to approve it. So what will happen is that the amount will get transferred from one account to other account. Okay, we have also the list of the customers where we can see, okay, these are the customers that we have. If we want to click on it and we can want to display some more details, we can display more details for them. And the dashboard, we can see any information about the charts based on your data. If you want to display, you can also have that. So that's how it's a quick lesson that we created recently in the last training for the online net banking services. Likewise, we can also create the applications, whatever we discussed, right? So that is about the Appian, guys, and that is what about the we had to tell you into the demo session. Any questions are there? There is no calls for the freshers. I mean, this Appian is such easy to learn. Even freshers can do it. And in the last batch, I remember out of 8, there were 5 members were there as a fresher. They were just college pass out and they were wanted to learn Appian, and they were the more energetic and they were the people who learn it very well. Nice together. So yes, freshers can learn it very easily. Right.
Can you just
Any
shed
other
light
questions,
on
guys? Yeah.
the certification of Appian?
So Appian certification has 3 levels: level 1, level 2, level 3. The level 1 is known as the analyst. Okay, and then we have analyst or developer, and then we have senior developer, and then we have lead developer. Each certification will require $200. And if you're part of a company where the company is using Appian, you might get a 50% of discount, and you have to pay $100 only. Once you complete this training, you will be able to complete your developer, the level 1 certification. For level 2 and level 3, it will require more knowledge, so at least 2 to 3 years of experience to complete the certification. So in the level 1, there will be a question from the Appian, there will be a question from the Agile methodology, there will be questions from some database. So these 3 they ask usually for the level 1 certification.
So certification is mandatory to work with Appian?
See, any certification, it's not mandatory, but it's beneficial for you. You have a plus point. Like if there are 2 candidates who is reaching out to a company, and if you have a certified, you will get the privilege, right? So that's what certification. It's not mandatory, but yes, it gives you the privilege.
And what about the environment? Suppose if we want to work on Appian while learning, so do we have any?
So actually, Appian used to give the credentials for the learning purpose, but what happened? There was a lot of requests was made, so Appian has stopped that for now. So what I do, I have my credentials, so I will be sharing my credentials to you guys, so you can use it. But you need to make sure that you do not share with someone else. But yeah, that's how it works for the last batch also. I shared my credentials. I created a user and then shared with them.
Okay, so this particular course will be of 45 days, right? You meant to say 45
yes, across
days.
45 days. Yeah, I mean, plus minus it happens where we may have some holidays or something like that. So yes, it may go for the 45 days up to 45 days. And there are 2 ways, either we can go with the topic wise, whatever topics are there we want to cover, we will cover the topics. Otherwise, my personal is that I go with the a POC. We create a POC and then we start designing how we do that. So 1 second, I'm getting a call. Yeah, hi Srita. Yeah. So, all right, guys. I mean, we can connect tomorrow as well because there is another training is going to start in 2 minutes. So if you have any questions, drop a message and then we can connect at the same time. So we can continue again from the same point. Okay. All right.
Yeah. No issues. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks all for joining. We
Thanks.
can continue tomorrow at the same time, and we can continue from here. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.